Unlike Top 5, Foolish was not interested in the streets at all. Instead, he was all about basketball. He was a great player in high school and college, and after graduating, he dedicated his time to making sure his youngest brother could make it to the league. Yes, Top 5 and Foolish's youngest brother was so good that he broke Canada's all-time high school record.
Hoop dreams are coming true in Toronto after a high school basketball player hit rare air. Point guard Ahmed Ali led his team to victory this week, becoming just the second Canadian player ever to score more than 100 points in a game. Ahmed Ali of the John Poliani CI Jaguars is joining me now in studio. Thanks for being here.
Thank you for allowing me to be here. That was a night I can't forget.
Was the adrenaline just pumping?
Like, I was in the zone. Like, I don't... When my family was there too, and like the neighborhood, like I consider them family, and I don't know what to say. Like, I was out of words, and I seen them cheering every shot I was hitting.
So yeah, Foolish was dedicating his time to helping his little brother, and this was his excuse to not be in the streets or involved with GGG at all. But sadly, after Top 5 and the GGG members would leave Toronto, Foolish would become the next biggest target. July 30th, 2017. It's a quiet Sunday night as Foolish is walking to his local market like any other night. He walks to the market, buys a bag full of groceries, and then turns around and begins walking home. Little does he know, at this exact time, Falstaff members are spinning the block. Then at 11 p.m. as he's approaching Dufferin Street, a car pulls right beside him. They roll their window down, they begin yelling at the man, and then when they see him turn around, they realize exactly who it is. Oh my goodness, it's Top 5's little brother. So sadly, without hesitation, they begin blowing. This was the blow of all blows for Top 5, his little brother gone for no reason just like that. And to make matters worse, an alleged Falstaff member named Clutch would constantly go online and make fun of Foolish. He would allegedly post videos on his stories stepping on grocery bags over and over and over. So as you would expect, Top 5 was devastated, hurt, and angry all at the same time. Despite now living the good life in LA with Drake, Top 5 now had an itch to get revenge for his brother. First, the man who trolled Foolish would lose his life while walking in his project.
And the life they took him away. Yeah.
A mother in grief after the death of her 16-year-old son in the apartment building where they lived. She says she heard the gunshots.
Every time I come out my hallway, when I see the stairway he died, you know, I feel something and my heart is bumping, I'm shaking.
Last Thursday, Hanad Abdullahi was gunned down in an apartment at 30 Falstaff Avenue.
Hanad was a good kid. He had so much life, so much ambition, so many things to look forward to. And his life was cut short, all because he lives here.
In a community that has seen shootings before, today residents outside 30 Falstaff expressed frustration at what they say was a slow response by security.
They have been telling me exactly that it took that hour to the police to arrive.
Whether or not Top 5 had anything to do with this, we don't know, but what we do know is that GGG were on a mission to avenge the loss of Foolish. So I guess it's safe to say that this was GGG's get back. But for him, no amount of revenge was ever enough, and sadly, he would take it way too far. That takes us to January 30th, 2021. It's a freezing cold Saturday night in Toronto, and Top 5 is back in town. And on this night, he has no plans of kicking back or turning up. Instead, he wants to put in work. It's time to get some more revenge, so at 5 p.m. he gets picked up by his friend named Emmanuel. He hops in his gray Mercedes, and allegedly this is when he begins planning a hit. Then together they head to the ops territory, the 20, 30, and 40 blocks of Falstaff Avenue. They spin around the blocks for over an hour looking for rivals, but they don't see a soul outside. Top 5 is now increasingly frustrated, so he comes up with a second plan. He allegedly tells the driver to drop him off, let him run through the projects, and then he's gonna text him to tell him where to pick him up. So at 8:45, Top 5 hops out and begins walking through the ops section. Then finally at 9 p.m. he sees somebody walk out of a building and instantly he's on him. So he allegedly walks up to the man and makes a terrible decision. He then texts the driver to pull around the building, he runs to the car, and they drive back to his apartment. He thinks he just scored on a Falstaff member, but sadly that's not the case at all. Yet another case of mistaken identity in the streets of Toronto. Hashim was not a member at all, instead just a regular student who happened to live in the projects. I'm not exactly sure whether Top 5 cared or not, because the rivals did do the same thing to his brother. Either way, this was a major case in Toronto and police would eventually figure it out. They would officially issue an arrest warrant for Top 5, and this is when he decided to go on the run. He was now ducking US Marshals while running around the city of Los Angeles. He's like, peace, catch me if you can, when of course they would eventually catch him.